Point Commander Bronson leaned out of the speeding hovercraft's hatch, pressing his chest wound against the edge. Stars filled his vision briefly from the pain, but it was enough to keep him sharp and conscious. He had a thermal monocular to his eye, seeing the dorsal heatsink vents on one of the pursuing Locust mechs that was cooling. The mech's chin-mounted laser aimed at their vehicle. "Driver, jink right!" he yelled against the slipstream. The tank shook as a wall of blazing hot sand shot up to the sky from the laser blast, missing the tank by less than a meter. Through the monocular, the mech's vents turned white hot as it fell behind the other two. This was the game they played. The mechs were barely heat neutral as they raced over the blazing salt flats of the Anfall Desert. A mech would sprint forward, fire their laser beam, and then fall behind to cool off and try again. But it couldn't last forever. The turbine that kept the hover tank afloat was starting to redline. On the crew compartment floor, a pool of hydraulic fluid mixed with the blood of his unconscious teammate. The asset they were sent to protect, a 13-year-old girl, worked frantically at the direction of her house nurse to tend to him. The girl had even offered to give herself up to save her staff and Bronson's men, an offer he flat out refused. He then lost 3 squad mates in the firefight to their escape craft, and may lose a 4th. Was it worth it? Yes. There were fates worse than death for a girl who's the product of a now disgraced minor Korean official and his secretary deemed to be collateral damage in a bureaucratic purge. He was a warrior, a former spirit cat, and still honor-bound to fight and die for those who couldn't, especially this asset. Bank left! Another blast and was more narrowly avoided. The whine of the turbine began to change, taking on a screech of tortured metal. With luck, it would last long enough for them to enter the approaching sandstorm and hide before it gave out. It didn't matter to him if they were found. He wouldn't let them take the girl so long as he drew breath. He had already taken down 1 Locust today with a satchel charge, and he still had 1 left. As for the others, it wouldn't be the first time he shattered cockpit glass with his fists. Jink right! Another blast. Mr. Bronson, came the pilot. Go! Switch to guard frequency. Tank, check fire, friendlies approaching your 12. Again, this is Frigo Lead to hover tank in the desert, check fire. Frigo Lead, identify yourself, he said. Good to hear your voice, Bronson, came the gravelly voice he didn't recognize. Check fire, Queef. Off, he acknowledged. He wasn't going to admit on open comms that he had no weapons left to check. Bronson felt the hovercraft shudder as the dying turbine struggled to keep the craft afloat, the speed decreasing. The foremost mech aimed its laser squarely at his head, and then several laser beams connected with the lead Locust, sending the mech tumbling into the side and disintegrating while at full run. He looked forward towards the storm and see a sleek hover tank pop out of the dust cloud, generating its own cloud in its wake. Screaming over the desert sands, it darted between Bronson's APC and the pursuers, obscuring the mechs in a choking cloud of burning sand. There was another explosion within the cloud. He couldn't tell if it was the mech or the newcomer. Seconds later, one of the mechs emerged from the dust cloud, the coils from its laser glowing in preparation to fire, and it pointed directly at Bronson's hatch. He winced as beams from the mech direction blinded him, but only for a split second. The mech seemed to continue on for a moment, before cartwheeling into the desert floor in several pieces. The new hover tank hovered over the wreckage, and snagged their APC with a tow cable. Stand down, Bronson. We'll take it from here. The elemental closed the hatch as they approached the sanctuary of the sandstorm. Who are you? He radioed. Friends. Your kin needs you. The Protectorate needs you. What of the girl? The one you're protecting? She'll be safe with us. We got a dropship touching down 5 clicks from here. We'll be airborne soon. Have medical teams standing by, Bronson muttered as he slumped on the floor, adrenaline leaving his body. He felt the pool of hydraulic fluid touch his hand, but he was too tired to care. For the first time in hours, he had hoped that they just might make it. How long was I out? Oh boy. Well, today's video is about a hover tank. That's that. So, excuse me while I shave. Woo, it tickles! In the 3090s, Clan Novacat had firmly established itself in the Draconis Combine, with a portion settling in the Republic of the Sphere. They were in need of a fast striker, but limits on mech procurement, the cost of which we'll get into in another video, caused them to resort to a vehicle design. The Novacats were known for their exceptional designs, and the Cizin, named after the Mayan god of the underworld, does not disappoint. The 215 consolidated XL engine will bring this 45-ton hovercraft to a blistering 162 kilometers per hour. The Omicron 5000 is something we'll circle back on, but for now it's a radio. It does radio things. Moving on. For armor, it has a respectable 134 points, 42 in the front, 25 on the sides, 21 on the turret, and 18 on the rear. This can absorb a respectable amount of damage, but vehicles are more susceptible to critical hits. It's best to stay fast and avoid getting hit if possible. The primary weaponry is 4 Clantech ER medium lasers and the turret, tied to a targeting computer. This makes the Cizin ideal for rear arc drive-bys to establish battlefield dominance. To supplement the horn, there's a pair of SRM-2s with case-protected ammunition. These are great for clearing inconveniently placed obstacles like livestock, infantry, light vehicles, or that jerk in the subcompact doing 10 under in the fast lane! We're trying to maintain our evasion bonus, Susan! Do you mind? I'm calm. I'm calm. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. In 3124, an alternate long-range version arrived, swapping out the SRM for an ECM suite. The turret replaced the ER mediums for Streak LRM-15s and the A-Clan ER large laser because sometimes you need to reach out and touch someone in a hurry, with high explosives. It's a nice little support scooter. I know I drive it on weekends and special occasions if I could afford it. Playing C-Fox. Now apply the advanced rules, however, and things get interesting. The downside is that it's a newer, more specialized vehicle with a limited supply chain. So if you're not in cahoots with the Draconis Combine, or willing to pay the exorbitant maintenance fees to Clan Greedweasel, Clan C-Fox, you may be out of luck, or at the tender mercy of MechTex Bubba's duct tape workaround. It also suffers from poor performance, meaning it can't maintain its maximum speed for too long. This results in it having the bad reputation quirk. But what do you get in exchange? Well, you get fast reloads, which might work on a support variant, but it's nothing to write home about when your primary means to spread the hate is lasers. But there is one saving grace. Remember that radio? It's also a battle computer, meaning this spicy hot rod has brains. The added command and control capability makes it the linchpin of Scout and Striker unit, allowing the raiders in this unit to stay one step ahead of the often slower but more heavily armed defenders, which is not only crucial to mission success, but also ensuring that many elements as possible come back in one piece. Or just rip it out and don't use the advanced rules. A little sawzall work and it should come out as easily as a catalytic converter on the Lyric Ward Savage Wolf. Allegedly. Also, who puts accessible catalytic converters on fusion engines and charges exorbitant fees to replace them? Oh, that's right, Clan C-Fox, of course. So that got me thinking, how would I improve the Cizin? AZ-20? Heavy small laser spam? Nah. I would keep the ECM in the targeting computer and put 4 SRM-6s and 2 medium pulse lasers in the turret. Add a mine dispenser in the hold to remind pursuers that no means no, and a small pulse laser in the front in case pedestrians get a little too uppity. I regret nothing. With the unfortunate end of the Novacats, again another video, production would pass to Clan C-Fox and the Draconis Combine. So the Cizin isn't going away anytime soon. With a sticker price of 6 million C-bills, it feels a Striker and Armed Reconnaissance roll well. Just keep it away from enemy fire. Not to mention the absolute bane of hovercraft everywhere, trees. Hovercraft and trees do not mix. Thank you for watching. I missed you all. Please check out the fine work of the artist shown here in this video. Full of photo pieces, and he never ceases to impress. Also check out the heatsink for many Battletech related works, least of which is mine. It can be downloaded in the link in the description for free. This is Nightlancer reminding you to not go quickly, dishonorably, or quietly into that good night. Take care.